Alright, welcome back everyone. So here is bag A for the Charisma 110 scale pan car. We got some O-rings, we got some spacers, we got some sockets, and they got to go into the upper control arms. Two of them on the inside get pressed in a little bit differently. Focus. Then the outside where the wheel or axle might go, so they go in a little bit differently. And what I found is you start these guys here, make sure you don't have any burrs off, cut them with a razor knife, any kind of burrs you may have on there. Let's see if I can find one. So when you cut these little parts off of a tree, you might not get them as close as you think you are, but there is a little burr there in the middle. And it's magnified a lot, so you need to trim those down. Otherwise, it's not going to slide in there very well. And you can easily, well, I say that, but one of these is just a little bit different than the other one. We got a longer straight here and a shorter straight here, right? And then it's very close to a 1-to-1 ratio. So we got a long straight, short straight. So if I lay one of these up here, like so, it is very close to a 1-to-1 ratio. Very, very close. Just a little bit bigger from the original part. So then, when you're pushing these things in, I found it helpful just to take a pair of pliers after you get it centered in the hole right there and just gently squeeze it. It'll sit partially in there. And then take an 8mm socket on top, right? So this would sit like so, and then an 8mm socket sitting down. Where is the opening? Okay, that side there is the opening. And smack it with a hammer. And it would set that to where you end up with something like this. All right, so the flange side goes on one side, and then the cups and the balls on the other side. All right, and then we got the opposite up here up front. Now I'll take a little bit of grease on a paintbrush. And I'll smear it in each one of those holes right there, and then I'll drop in the balls accordingly, and then cover it with an O-ring. So then I used a pair of pliers, and I squeezed the balls in to a way they appear to be flush. So it should look something like that. All right, properly greased now. And since it's not going off-roading, I'm not worried about sand and stuff collecting in there. But that's what that should look like. And now we'll set the O-rings where they're supposed to go for whatever reason. Okay, some of those are fairly easy to stick on there and other ones are not. Let's see if we can zoom in on there. There is a picture of the O-ring and the O-ring. Let's see what the tool that I use. I found it much more easy to go ahead and my orientation, because I'm so magnified, just to use this sharp tip and just kind of work it around. Hold one end down with your thumbnail, then kind of work it around and it'll slide on. But some of them were more difficult than others, so be prepared for that. Be patient, and then probably wipe off the excess grease. I'm sure the O-ring is there not to hold it in place, but to probably stop debris from getting there. Maybe it is to hold it in place. I doubt it is as tight of a fit as it was. So that's that. Now it looks like you should have 2 more sockets, 2 more balls, 2 more O-rings for here and here. And just keep in mind, in case I didn't mention it already, this is the long edge right here is the forward facing edge. Right? You may only be like 5 minutes on video, but it's actually been closer to like 15 minutes for me. And this set of instructions is much more clear. We got our notch back here, so these cups go in the bottom, right? So that's where I'm going to start. In all honesty, I made it sound easy, but I'm a little bit confused. Which side is the tapered side and which side, at least according to this one, because I don't see any tapers there. So I'm assuming that's a flat side. Right, because if we look at that, we got some tapers there, but not there. So I'm hoping I did that right. Right? No tapers. Maybe I need to switch it around. Yeah, I think I better switch it around. Now, because we're building the GT car, we're going to take the countersunk screws, which are over there somewhere. We're going to put those in these two holes closest to me, right here. Oops, excuse me, right there and right there. Just as they're shown here in this diagram, except it would have been nice if they would have drew a little bit of shading or something in here for countersinking, but it is what it is. And then we'll attach these posts right here from the bottom, right there. And for me, I'm going to use a little bit of blue Loctite anytime I have to put a screw. I don't want to use a red because red is damn near permanent. Now in this guy right here, it says thread lock tight, but I'm not exactly sure where the hole is supposed to be. It might be at a little bit of an angle. So for right now, I'm just put it in there finger tight, no thread lock at all. There is a hole, there it is. And I'm guessing that's for the anti-sway bar. There's one on the other side. So for now, I don't exactly know which direction these are going to face. I'm sure it goes across somehow this direction, but there might be a slight angle to it. For now, just finger tight. If I have to take it back apart, then I will. So for now, that concludes bag A.